Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I just want to go over some cool stuff that I got from Allen's Coin Shop. If you didn't see my video, I just showed the shop. It is in Oliphant, Pennsylvania. Oliphant is kind of a small town, but it's literally bordering Dixon City, which is a bigger shopping area. And Dixon City is close to Scranton, which a lot of people know, even across the United States. Everyone knows about Scranton, Pennsylvania, especially if you watch The Office. But anyway, it's all real close. It's all, right there. So if you're ever in Scranton, you're somewhat close to Allen's. It's worth checking it out. And same thing with Dixon City. But so I was in Dixon City, actually going to the car dealership just to do, some regular maintenance. And it was a good excuse to go check out Allen's again. I ended up not making a video there because it was totally impromptu. I just was in the area. I'm like, let me go back and just see what he's got. Because the price of silver is rising again, I thought it'd be good just to double down, get a few more things before the hike, because who knows how much it's going to go up or how long it will last. I knew for sure that I wanted to go back at some point and get a 10-ounce bar from him, so that was kind of my excuse. All right, so there it is. That is the Allen's Coin and Gold official 10-ounce bar, which is very cool. He does have them serialized. This one is number 205. Just pretty neat. And these are saran wrapped, which is very cool. So yeah, very good price on that. And while I was there, I was kind of looking at some other things. One thing that I knew that I was interested in the future is he had a little section with some sterling silver. And he had a sign there saying that he'd sell it for melt. So I ended up buying all of these miniature coin, or they're not coins, they're rounds, that are all sterling silver. So I have 3 bags here. I put this in my own bags, but they're all spread out. If you notice in the video, it's very noticeable because they were just all over the place and tiny. So they're in a big, like felt box with some other sterling silver. But I knew I wanted that eventually if it was still there because, why not? How often can you get, silver at melt? So that was a fantastic deal. He still has a couple of the commemorative pieces that were there if you're interested. But yeah, these are actually really, really neat. So I've seen these before. These were part of big sets from the Franklin Mint. These are even smaller than these. They're all, again, solid sterling silver, which is 925 or 92.5% pure silver. These are all commemorative pieces. These ones are just of presidents, all right? I actually have some of these presidents, and I have some First Lady ones that were in old sets, I believe from the 70s, from the Franklin Mint. Then I also had a couple of these before. So I got all these. There's like 120 something of these. I didn't look at all of them. These are actually really, really cool. Each one has a little commemorative date in history and a beautiful image. So let me pop these out just to give you some examples here. Because they're small, I might even have to use the loop. But these are cool. All right, there we go. Got a nice shot with the loop. All right, so on the back it says 1848, immigration swelled by famine and revolution. All right, and also you can see the sterling mark on the bottom as well as 76. Now if we turn this over, we can see the actual image. I have to get the light right here, but you can see it's a beautiful proof. You can see these 2 people here, they're loading up the ship. They really are beautiful. It's kind of amazing to think that they have all these different dies for individual little rounds. Let me grab another one here. Again, just to give you kind of a example of some of the variety that's here, because they have some really important events and then they have some not so important events. All right, here's another one, 1828, first stone laid on Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. Very cool. Let's flip that over and see what the depiction is. All right, so there's the image on the other side. There's just really immense detail. And again, these are proof. So some of them with the fields are super, super mirror finish. All right, here's another one, 1862, First Battle of Ironclads. All right, let's flip that guy over. So there is the image on the back. Just really, really neat. Really cool stuff. I mean, there's a ton of them here. I literally was looking through them, and because they're small and I have to use a loop, I only got through maybe 20 or 25 of them. Anyway, I thought these things were super, super cool. Not only are they little bits of history, but obviously buying silver and melt is always a win. But on top of that, I think these are actually pretty cool and interesting for prepping. Because not only do you have beautiful little coins, but they are very small amounts of sterling silver. So you can use this for very small purchases, maybe a meal, maybe a couple rounds, whatever. It's just a different increment different size. Fractional silver is very expensive. Go out and try to find, you know, half-ounce rounds, quarter-ounce rounds. The premiums are very, very high. So imagine not only not paying a premium for fractional silver, but actually paying spot. So if you go like on eBay, some people, they'll sell these for $6 individually. Now that's not practical. I wouldn't list these for $6. This is just kind of fun to have, and most people would probably just buy it for melt. They wouldn't buy it for its, you know, collectability. A lot of the Franklin Mint stuff is you know, things that are purposely made to be collectible often aren't actually collected. But they're really, really neat. If you are interested in these and your local shop doesn't have something like this, I mean, in fact, Alan said that he has seen these before, so there's always a chance if you go in, he'll have more in the future. And if he ever does, I mean, I'll try to snag them up myself. But they're just a fantastic buy. But sometimes you will find these like in the actual, like original packaging where they're individually like on a cardboard card. I think they have like some kind of felt thing you're supposed to, you know, mount them in or whatever. And I think the original set actually came with some kind of a jeweler's loop as well, so you can see them better. So besides that, I also got a World Trade unit. These are awesome. These are pretty common. You'll find these a lot. This one's from 1986. Let me show you the design on this one. Now this happens to be in the original packaging, but the packaging was cut wrong. So you can see 1986 on top, these World Trade units. You can find these online. Like I said, they're fairly common design. So someone kept this in the original plastic. However, on this side, when they cut it, let me zoom back out. When they cut the plastic, they cut into where it was sealed. Okay, so obviously it's exposed to air. So it's in the original plastic, but it doesn't mean anything anymore, so I'll probably just break it out of there and put it in a capsule or something. Besides that, I got 3 different Christmas rounds. I just posted for Stephen's Best Loot. I picked up a Christmas art bar. I showed that on Instagram. I love Christmas. Christmas is my thing. It always has been. I'm obsessed with Christmas time. It's just extra cozy and wonderful, and it's awesome. So I'm definitely a Christmas person. So anything, you know, silver and Christmas, you're combining 2 of my loves. So here is a generic Christmas round. These are probably vintage, but these don't have years on them. But we have a nice depiction of a nice Christmas tree and some presents. It says Happy Holidays. And on the back, it says, you know, for that special someone. You can't really see here because I put it in this bag. Let me pop it out so you can see it. So it has a little plate there so you can engrave it. So this would be sold as a gift. All right, it says for someone special. All right. So if you wanted to, even now, even though it's old, it was never engraved. So I could bring this to an engraver, put some initials in here and give it to someone as a gift or write a message or whatever. So kind of neat. So I got one of those. This is another one. That one obviously is toned. This one is not as toned. It's a different scene, but the back is identical. Little living room set up there. Looks very cozy. And then this one is actually vintage. This one has a snowman on the front. This is from 1990. And on the back has a little bird inside of a wreath. I mean, let me take it out so I can show you that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, anything Christmas related is cool. A lot of the art rounds and art bars will have all kinds of things. Every holiday you can think of. They have Thanksgiving ones and, you know, St. Patrick's Day ones and Happy Birthday. I mean, any event, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, people got silver and they got gold for gifts. So anyway, so that is that. Besides that stuff, one thing I wanted to start collecting, and I'm not like super focused on it right now, but it's something I thought was really neat, were these American half-dollar commemoratives. All right, so these are all half dollars. Obviously, a lot of us know about the Kennedy half dollars. Plenty of people know about like the older Benjamin Franklin half dollars, of course, the Walking Liberty half dollars. But over the years, they've had many different commemorative pieces with all kinds of designs. The original one, which I picked up here, and he had these for like 12 bucks. These are 90% silver. This one is commemorating Christopher Columbus. It's very cool. And the date on here is the actual date is 1893. So they made these in 1892, and they also made them in 1893. 1893, I mean, this is a very common design. You can find these pretty easily. But that's pretty amazing to me, that it was made in 1893. This one is very shiny because it was probably cleaned. I think there was 1.5 million minted in this year, in 1893. It's just really cool, but that was the first commemorative, and then they've made a bunch over the years. I also got a Booker T. Washington. All right, again, these are like some of the more common designs. That's why he had a bunch in a little bin there for 12 bucks. And they also got, this is Booker Washington and George Carver. All right, and this one actually, I think they're in great shape. Like I said, these two, I mean, for $12, they're a win all day long. They sell for more than that online. I'm not looking to sell them or anything. I just think they're kind of cool. So I did break out the Red Book here. There's a 2020 version of Red Book just to show you that there are tons and tons of commemoratives. So hang on, let's get to that section. All right, so there we go. Page 296 here in this book. But you can see here's the start. You can read the information on the Colombian $50, as they call it here. Pretty cool. I wouldn't worry about the prices in these books. It's just, these books are great for information and history, but also the mintages. But yeah, I mean, you could see as I flip through how many commemoratives there are over the years, and this doesn't even list them all. But there's lots and lots to collect, lots to find. Alan's had, he had a nice whole tray of some better quality ones and harder to find ones. But I was just curious of the cheaper ones. So I picked, I mean, there was a bunch of them in here in different, you know, I would say toned conditions, let's say, on the cheap. So that's starting my commemorative $50 collection. I know some people are really into it. I see a couple people online who get, you know, like graded ones in really nice shape and stuff. I don't know if I'll get that far into it. I just like to have a little variety, but I think it's kind of cool. It's still, they all have face value. These are all worth 50 cents US money. They are American $50. They're just not commonly seen. And the last thing I got was a couple of large cents. All right, so I thought this would be cool for the collection. Again, I mean, he was charging, I think, $1 each. These are all very, very worn. This one has a hole punched into it. It's not even drilled. It was like punched in with a nail or something, who knows when. This one's in pretty rough shape, but again, for the price, it's hard to beat. Even really, really, you know, damaged ones go for a little bit more than that. So, I mean, it's a cool novelty to have one of these. If you really collect large cents or half cents or something, as the condition gets better, they get pretty expensive in some cases. But like this one, for example, on the bottom is probably the most legible. That is from 1835. 1835. I'm filming this in 2022. But this is what pennies look like. A penny bought you a lot more back in the day, too. But these are very cool, very collectible. The half pennies are probably more collectible. So let's go in here real quick and show you that. So yeah, we have large cents. Obviously the early ones are worth even more. But let's see, like in 1833. Oh, I'm sorry, 1835. So this is what we have here. 1834. 1835, so 3.8 million made. Even in 1835. Some people don't realize how much money was out there. All right, so I mean, even though you're not going to find this in your pocket change, okay, you'll never stumble across one. It's not in circulation. However, there's still 3.8 million that were made. And I mean, that's why people collect this kind of stuff, because one in really good condition that's that old, you know, is rare. But I thought it'd be nice just to have them. Just to have them in the collection, just to say I have them. So in the future, maybe I'll just get a couple, you know, real cheap, kind of beat up half cents to also just say I have them. But yeah, it's just for a little bit of variety. So that's all. Just wanted to share these pickups. As time goes on, and I mean, I continue to stack, like again, this 10-ounce bar, that's just for weight. That's just to accumulate a little bit more silver weight. I think it's very special. It always means something to me. It'll always remind me of Alan's shop. You know, it's specific to his shop, so I think that's pretty neat. You know, but obviously I like the novelty of the Christmas rounds here. And by the way, these type rounds, very, very cheap. Offhand, I want to say they were, geez, 22 bucks maybe each, 23 maybe. I don't even recall the exact price, but it was only a couple bucks over spot. So I mean, it's, you know, he's not charging an arm and a leg. Some of the stuff at his shop is really a steal. That's why I wanted to promote it so much and just let people know it's there. Of course, you know, you have to nitpick here and there depending on what you're collecting, what you're looking for, you know, but I think his prices were more than reasonable and in some cases probably too low. But he knows what he's doing way more than I do. But yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. Again, totally unplanned trip, but I did walk away with some stuff. So just for reference, spot price when I purchased this stuff was between 19 and I think 1940 an ounce. I do feel like, you know, silver is going to go up and who knows where it's going to stick for a while. You know, it might go up to 25 bucks again an ounce and maybe it stays like that for a year or 2 years or 5 years, who knows, you know. So while it was sub $20, I definitely wanted to purchase some more. So I definitely will be selling stuff to fund this purchase. So if you're interested in knives and gear, I'll make another video in the future, or at least post on Instagram. There's a new company that I wanted to try out. It's almost like consignment. So I'll be listing some stuff for sale soon. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, that's all. Just wanted to share this for all the stackers out there and perhaps some of the coin collectors. My stack when I first started this hobby was purely bullion. It was purely how can I get as much silver as possible, as cheap as possible. But all these years later, it's turned into I just really enjoy coin collecting as well. So I'm always kind of torn from one end to the other. Well, I don't want to pay a premium. I want to get cheap silver, but this is pretty cool and not boring. You know, that's the struggle if you're a stacker, but actually like collecting coins too. You know, and art bars or whatever your thing happens to be. You know, it's hard to pay those premiums, but sometimes you do because it's cool and it's different and it's new. So anyway, that's all. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.